Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
welcome to Moving On TV, guys. And today I've got an amazing messenger of light. And one of these people that are here to literally change humanity. Now, the name of this person I'm going to be interviewing, David Ellams, came to me years ago through another friend. I understood he was involved in some kind of yoga and mixing yoga and light work together. But I never realized that he was actually in the process of creating a whole new internet, a light internet, an internet for everyone, an internet without restrictions, without any way of demeaning you or controlling you, your own internet, your light internet. And I'm so excited today to be interviewing David about Y4A. And I want to know what it is, and I want to know exactly what he's doing. So welcome, David Ellams, to Moving On TV. At long last, we get to do the interview. So, hi, David. So how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You? How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. The sun's shining here in High Wycombe. Where are you at the moment?
It's like in Westgate on Sea. It's like just like 10 minutes from Margate. It's like a slightly nice area. I'm in like a little cabin at the end of the garden. So it's quite nice. But, a bit
Wow.
isolated though. But it's really nice for the nature. So
Yeah. Wow. So that's where you live. You have your own little cabin near the sea. Wow.
Yeah.
Go there. That sounds amazing. When the weather, do you know, the weather seems to be really, really beautiful at the moment. I get the feeling
Yeah.
we're being looked after in lockdown again. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Last time we had lockdown, we had a lot of
Yeah.
sunshine.
Yeah. It's like that's why like I kind of lockdown doesn't. The only thing that bothers me with lockdown is the gyms closing. That's why I'm following it quite closely. I'm thinking the gyms are going to reopen again because I think there's a lot of pushback on that. Because like I just really that's what I need the most kind of thing. But everything else I don't really notice because I'm on my own anyway. I live in a cabin on my own. Like
Yeah.
for the it doesn't make much difference. Like I'm not really seeing anyone anyway. All my closest friends and family are 2 hours away. So I'm not on my own anyway. So anything I notice is the gyms closing. Everything else is the same as normal for me.
Honestly, David, I think that us star seeds and light workers, we've been given a job to be on our own.
Yeah, I think so.
Those of us that have got really big jobs to do, like yours, it sounds massive to me. So let's go back a little bit, because this program, I want to find out, how did you discover that you were a messenger of light? So shall we start from the beginning? Where were you born?
Yeah, I've got quite a big story to share, so I try and summarize and squeeze it in. So I was born in 1980 in Luton. That's when I came in. So I'm on a indigo. And people like spiritual. I'm basically a Syrian archangel star seeds. I'm like a Blu-ray master bridge builder. That's a master download, a master seeder. So I'm kind of bringing download seeds and I kind of see into the future. I like a visionary. I see like blueprints and downloads from the future technology to build
Fantastic
technology and angelic downloads I get. So
okay, so how did you discover all of this? Because a lot of people are starting to realize, it took me a long time to realize what my job was, and that I am who I am because I'm different. So how did you actually discover this? Because how old were you when you were diagnosed with autism?
Well, when I was younger, when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with dyspraxia, which is it's like overlaps between dyslexia, dyspraxia, autism, Asperger's, all part of the autistic spectrum. and dyspraxis, like the clumsy child syndrome. But I had problems speaking as a child. Like I still struggle with communication a little bit now, but not as much. I've had to work hard on it. But I couldn't talk because I had a speech impediment and I mumbled and I was very introverted and shut down. And I had a speech therapist, but they kept it from me though. So I went to normal public school. My mum and dad didn't tell me, but it's not their fault because there wasn't no acceptance then. Nobody understood what dyspraxia, what autism was then. So I got a really hard childhood, to be honest with you. I got bullied a lot at school and I just didn't fit in. You know how we all are. Like, I'm really outcast, and I was just bullied for being different. And then when I went to university at 18, I had a dyslexia test to try to get extra time in the exam and use a computer because I find it easier to type than to write because I have problems holding the pen, and it hurts my hand. And then they said, "Oh, you've got dyslexia, yes, but you've also got dyspraxia." I was like, "What's dyspraxia?" So I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, explain." And dyspraxia is very similar to autism. And then when I was 28, I got diagnosed with autism officially, or Asperger's. I think it was, that was quite a bit later on. So I got a hybrid. I kind of got all three, and OCD, ADHD, but they're all just labels. I say ADHD is attention dialed into higher dimensions, and OCD, not obsessively, observing conscious details. That's what I define OCD and ADHD as, because I find autism is more of a gift. I used to say it's a curse, but I find it's a gift. And autism's here to teach people how to get out of their box rather than be put into the box, and here to teach unconditional love and warn people about dangers of toxins and vaccines and things. Because I'm not sure people realise that vaccines don't cause autism, but autism is more of a spiritual gift to just old souls or angelic souls incarnated. But because we're super sensitive, we react more to the toxins in vaccines. So then we have the symptoms come from the vaccine. Doesn't actually cause autism. It just we have more of a reaction to it, so it looks like it causes autism, but it just triggers the autism. It's more of a warning. So, and that's why I'm sensitive to the chlorine. I can't swim in chlorine and bleach and cleaning chemicals. It burns my eyes and nose, and I'm so sensitive. Like same with 5G, 4G. That I'm just like I can't be around any kind of radiation. I'm like
we all are. I've got all my crystals here protecting me. Guys, people don't understand, do they? Oh my God, no. I smell everything. I've just got this new water filter and I can't drink it. It's awful. The chemicals are so strong. Anyway, coming together, that's absolutely fascinating. So you would, I agree. What you said is incredible, that you may vaccinate another child, maybe not now because the vaccinations have become much more aggressive. Let's not go into it. I don't want to go into
it.
Let's keep it on that vibration. But when you had them, if you were very, very sensitive, as you said, you've come from somewhere else, you're a light being, then you're going to not be able to deal with it. It's going to affect you in some way. However, you have done something amazing. You've been able to take this, and not everyone can. I mean, I'd say most people with autism and all these different conditions, they can't seem to negotiate and do what you're doing. And this is why I'm having you on here. Well, I have everyone on here, but I couldn't wait to interview you. Because anyway, you created something amazing, but how did you realize that you were here to do something special? How can you take yourself from that child with autism and all these different conditions that was being bullied and treated as not as an equal and looked on and everything else, to a level of where you suddenly woke up one day and thought, hang on a second, I'm here to do something different, to do something special, because that helps other people and other kids that are being diagnosed to understand that they have got a job here for humanity. So do you want to explain a little to me? Do you understand the question?
It's basically,
thank you.
I got a very brief background. Like, so then so hard time in school, so I was a social recluse, so I just focused more on my academic career. Then I got A levels, and then went to university, and that's when I started coming out of my shell. Before then, I was very introverted and shut down because I couldn't talk, and when I did talk, I stuttered, and I got more attacked, more for that. I mean, not being able to speak properly. But in university, the bullying stopped, and then I came out of my shell because and I was around good teachers and made some good friends, and I found I was really gifted with computers, and I got a first class honours degree business computing degree. Then my career took off, and I worked for the big names: Nokia, Microsoft, HSBC, KPMG. I was like a top contractor in London, and that's my background. I was like 20 years experience building websites, and I'm a .NET architect, like senior engineer. It's my kind of my background trade. But then what happened is, in parallel of that, so that started helping my low self-esteem and depression and anxiety, which I suffered my whole life with, because it comes with autism, plus the home life I had, plus my bullying. It's like I got quite a lot of damage done to me, a lot of trauma, basically, and I took a lot. I'm still healing from all of it. I'm getting there, but it's been a lot to unravel. And then one day I still struggled with all this, and then I tried everything, nothing worked, and I was drugged up and was given antidepressants, anti-anxiety tablets, sleeping tablets, all these things, and it just turns you into a zombie. It just numbs you down. It doesn't really heal you. It covers up the symptoms rather than addressing the root causes. And the root cause of autism is you need to ground, and come into your body and anchor yourself into the planet. And that's what I discovered yoga. One day I went to the gym and I did the yoga class. I was the only man in the gym. I was like a toy by all these older women. They loved me, and I was only like 20. How old was I? 25, 26, I think. And I was only, and I used to go to the gym, just work out and do like weights and stuff. I just still use the gym. But one day I just thought, Simon goes, try yoga. I was like, eh. And because of autism, I don't care about what society thinks. I was like, a man doing yoga. I'm already an outcast anyway, so I don't care. I don't care what society thinks of me. That is one of the blessings of being an outcast. You just don't conform to society. You become a rebel, and you just don't like follow the dudes.
Sorry, David, can I just stop you there quickly? This is amazing. So yoga, did you take any medication at all? Did you have
before that? Yeah, I said I was going to doctors, and all they gave me was antidepressants and anti-anxiety tablets and sleeping tablets, and it just made me worse. And I was like, that plus drinking alcohol, got so depressed. I was smoking a bit of weed, so I was a mess. You can imagine. I was just like, I had this cocktail of like pharmacy. I was a living organic pharmacy, and I was just like, I was just like, and I was like, no wonder I was a basket case, and it made me even more unstable, and I was just a complete wreck. And all I've done is just keep changing my medication, which didn't work. It made me worse. And then one day I found yoga, and I phased it out. I phased out all.
And did you phase out all the medication after that?
Yeah, medication, stop drinking, stop smoking, and I just turned my life around, and that was the turning point when I swapped all that shit with that rubbish with yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. And this book, I've got it here. I'm actually reading it again now. This Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. If you can see that, it's the best book. I recommend that. People with autism, if you're listening, read this book. This book and yoga, meditation, and mindfulness in nature, and a good healthy diet, preferably vegan, is what you need, because you're sensitive. So don't eat meat, and don't have caffeine, don't drink alcohol, because it's not good. You've got autism and you're sensitive. It's not good for anyone. Like autism is the same as everyone else. It's just like on a stereo, the sensitivity dial's just toned up a bit more. That's all it is. Everything's just toned up a bit more. But all these things that help, like I just said, help everyone. But with autism, it's even more important that you look after yourself and you have a really healthy, holistic lifestyle. That's basically it. And yoga is the most, of all those things, yoga and for the yoga in this book are the two most important things, I would say. Power of Now and yoga is what I would say, and nature. It's all important. But,
David, okay, let's just take a breath, because it's stunning. This is stunning information. Now, all I can identify with is I was diagnosed with BPD, which has got a bit of everything in it, but it's a complex needs. And so with BPD, they medicate everything. I never took medication for anything. And like,
well done.
The answer is you've got to bring everything that's got to come into balance, and you've got to know why you're here. You've got to release some stuff. I released trauma from the past, and that helped me. But with you, it was purely yoga, grounding yourself, and the power of now, that changing your diet. So you're obviously very enlightened, to be able to do that. You're a teacher. You've come here to teach a lot of people that have been affected really, really badly. I know a lot, like, what is it? Nearly every single child has been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD or something, or respect, because they're so, as more and more sensitives have come to the planet. But let's move on from there. So that is absolutely fascinating. So how old were you when you felt that you were going to create something in order to help other people? And did you teach yourself? I mean, some people can't seem to communicate like you.
I never used to be able to. Like, that's the power of yoga. Like, if people met me 10 years ago, I was way more autistic. You could tell. I would never be doing an interview. I would just shut myself away, and all I did was sit in front of the computer. I couldn't like interact with people, and I couldn't make eye contact, or I couldn't talk properly. I still was very autistic, so that's why my IT career was fine, because most people in IT are autistic or somebody on the spectrum, all a bit social reclusive. Some, not everyone, but generally it's kind of a little yeah. but I kind of like say I'm like a hybrid. I'm half hippie, half geek, half hippie, half geek. I'd say like I'm a bit of both. So I'm wearing my tie dye Glastonbury. It's got Glastonbury tour on the back as well, so that's what I wear all the time. My hoodie.
Your batik, I love your batik. That's gorgeous.
I wear this all the time. But it's my mum tries to wash it when I live to my mum when I come back from Bali, and she, it's part of me. It's like it's grown on me. I never, she can never wash it. I never wash it because I do wash it occasionally. I do have hygiene, but it's kind of like it's hard to take it off because it's so comfortable and warm. The hood.
It's beautiful. You've got all the chakras, and of course you're protecting yourself. So your message is very your message, you're very protected here. I've got the violet flame. All the angels are protecting moving on TV. Only certain people could come on here.
That's good. That's nice to know. Yeah. So your question was like, how did I create yoga for autism? It's kind of like, so basically I kind of discovered that journey, and that this is like in my mid 20s, late 20s, started in yoga and started meditating and reading The Power of Now and practicing mindfulness. And like I told her, I just sat in park benches, just meditating with nature and emptying my mind and just focusing on the tree and a flower and just coming one with it and just feeling its inner essence and just connecting with it. And then the sea I love as well, how I just look at the sea and let my thoughts empty across the sea and empty everything out of there. So, and then I just thought one day, I never knew anyone else with autism. It was just me. I lived on my own. I'm not on my own, but I kind of didn't really meet anyone like me other than IT. And I thought I've got to share this with the world. So then in 12-12-12, I had my awakening in Glastonbury, because I love this, in Avalon, the heart chakra of Gaia. And then I created Yoga for Autism in January 2013, just after my awakening, to share what I discovered. And then beyond it, it's kind of
David,
very hard journey since then.
Sorry, David, when you say you're awakening, everybody has an awakening, like a spiritual. I know when mine was exactly. Can you actually say, because again, if someone is watching this and they think, oh, I wonder what my awakening, they'll realize what's really going on. That's an awakening. So what would you say was that pivotal moment, your awakening?
It happened like 2 stages, probably. Like the first stage was when I discovered probably yoga, meditation, and mindfulness, and that was back in like 2009, 2010, probably. So when I was like 29, 30. And then the second stage, the big one was, I said 12-12-12 in Glastonbury, which is like Avalon, the heart chakra of Gaia. I went to because I started going to these ceremonies like yoga classes and meditation classes, and I got invited to do ceremonies. I started hooking into the spiritual tribe in London, because back then I was in the southwest in Plymouth and Cornwall and Devon. I kind of went to university down in Plymouth, so I only came back to London in 2012, July 2012. And then I went to this ceremony. I went to the 12-12-12 ceremony. I had no idea about the 21-12-12 and awakening and ascension. I knew nothing about that area or what was going on in the world. I just knew about yoga, meditation, and mindfulness practices for about 2-3 years. And then I went to this thing, and then we did the ceremonies, and people come up to me and going, "You're Palladian, no, you're Syrian," and as the listeners come up to you, send them love and light. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So these guys are crazy. And I was just like, all this stuff. And I started talking in language. I just sat there listening. My mind is going, oh my God. But my heart and soul was going, but something feels truth. It feels real. So I always had an open mind. So like I went back home and I started researching on YouTube all these different like Pleiadians and lizards and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And back then I was smoking a lot of weed as well, bear in mind. I don't anymore, but I was kind of like, and I was just like, it's just like something out of Matrix in Neo. I was just like sat on a computer till 4 in the morning, like fall asleep on my keyboard, and the sun would come up and the milk floats would come down and the birds stop treating. And then I go to bed and I wake up in the morning going, oh, did I just dream that? And I go back to the computer and I was like, oh, shit, no, I didn't. I look at the YouTube history. And you know how YouTube goes recommended video? I just kept playing video of the video of the video. I was gripped. I couldn't stop watching. I was like, what? And David Icke and the Earth is Hollow and the reptilians and all these other crazy stuff. And I was just like, what the hell? This world is, it's just, and I thought, this is crazy. But somehow, my mind is going mental, but for a few days, for a week, you know how it is, and I was just like, this is insane. But I integrated it pretty quickly. I don't know, because my soul, like I said, like my soul was like, yep, okay, mission begins. And it's like, and then I went to 21-12-12, and I was like, and I'm always late for everything. Like, so I was late for this interview, and I'm late for my own funeral. I'm just always late, and I struggle with time because of the autism and organization. We're not used to time in the higher dimensions, so I struggle with 3D life. And I thought I was late for the Ascension. Ascension was 21-12-12. I thought everyone was preparing for this big end of the Mayan calendar, and I went to this big ceremony in Avebury. So the first one was in Glastonbury. The next one was in Avebury with the stones in Avebury, a bit like Stonehenge. And I went there, and I thought, oh great. So everyone else has been like had all this time to prepare, like in preparing for this for like 10, like the whole life, and I had like one week to prepare for this. And then I got there, and then I got there, and then I found out it was all okay, like, you know, it's all divine timing, like that was all meant to be. But I thought I missed it. I thought like I was meant to wake up a lot earlier, but it wasn't. I was meant to wake up at last minute. So I had like 1 week. That was a crazy week from 12 to 21-12-12, and I was smoking a lot of weed as well. That was a crazy week for me. I was like, I don't know if I'm dreaming. Am I smoking too much? Am I hallucinating? No, that's when I started cutting back on the smoking. I was like, oh, this is mental.
That was the dates that I decided. Everybody was talking about the end of the world. They said it's going to end in 2012. So I made a decision to do my biggest project ever to open 2013. At the end of 2012, I released a children's peace film with 1,000 kids singing for peace, because I was determined then, even though I knew nothing about what's ruling the world and what's trying to destroy us, I knew that I was going to put out a really positive message. I was going to put out opposite of what they were pushing us to believe, that we were all going to die the end. 31st of December 2012, boom. And I thought, well, I'm releasing the biggest song for peace ever. And I did. And you had your massive awakening. Okay, so that shows to people, when you suddenly, it's like you're on a different vibration. It's like, you know, for years and years and years, David, I used to sit there listening to Jill Edwards and Wayne Dyer and closing my eyes and sending myself all over the place, visualizing. And I just loved it so much. I loved Tony Robbins, because you and I were very similar. We're very creative, and we love all of that floating around. But when it comes to the down-to-earth grounding, money, grants, everything, that we struggle a little bit more. I'm going to give you some more information after this, because they're starting to help people like us now. You know, there's a lot of help out there. There's money and there's help. But anyway, coming back to what so you had your massive awakening. Now, where did Y4A come from? Can you tell us, first of all, what does it mean?
Oh, yeah, it's just a yoga for autism. So it's a website, it's yogaforautism.com. So I just thought it does what it says on the tin, kind of thing. Well, it's quite self-explanatory. Have a
Yoga
two
for
projects.
autism.
Yeah,
Thank you for
it's like,
explaining that.
yeah, I had two projects, and people like I won't go. We'll talk about the technology a bit later on, but I had like other projects, Our World and other things. And when I try to explain the two different projects, people get lost with the technology side of stuff. But Yoga for Autism, people, I don't know how to explain it. I go, what's your other company? Yoga for Autism. I go, oh, right. I said, what's that do? I help autism with yoga. Funny enough. so it's like, that's a lot easier to explain to people. So I started with that project, and I focused on that for the first few years. And then,
okay.
yeah. And then I moved on to technology after. So, but yeah.
Funny enough, our paths didn't actually cross, but I had a very strong connection to someone who knew you very well, Helen Greenway. And it's funny because she knew you, and that's how we came. Our paths crossed years ago without realizing it. And that it's you, the same person. So total synchronicity. Okay, so you've got that yoga for autism, but then you started to talk about this new light internet.
Oh right, yeah.
So
yeah, that.
Which is, what is that, and how is that going to be beneficial for the human race, and how does that connect all the dots?
Yeah, I tried to give a quick summary, and then I'll talk about how it all kind of connects, because all my projects are all interconnected, all deeply integrated, all part of the same master plan. I'm basically unity consciousness. I express unity consciousness within the technical sphere and my projects. So and that's where we come from, because we come from like the oneness kind of thing, from the high angelic realms. When we came here, we used to be in pure unity consciousness. Why I struggled with being a body and being separate. But basically this Our World, yeah. So it's called ourworldthegame.com, but it's more than a game. It's like a platform and like a training. Basically, it's an ascension training platform to teach people how to look after themselves and come together as a humanity and look after the planet and animals, and to teach the kids and people the right life lessons to create a better world, rather than everyone being separate. It's about coming together and working together, and you basically gain karma for doing good deeds, like picking up litter, helping people, and you lose karma for dropping litter and being selfish. You can play it however you want.
Wow, sorry, it's a game.
It's more than that. It's hard to explain. It's because it's like different parts of it. It's the internet. It's the operating system. It's a game. It's a platform. It's a social network. It's something you've never seen before, because it's everything integrated. Imagine everything in the world all integrated through one unified interface. Have you watched a film called Ready Player One? That's the closest thing to explain to it. Ready Player One isn't. It's a film called Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg. It's a really good film. You watch Ready Player One. There's a thing called the Oasis in there, and the Oasis is the closest thing to what I'm building. That is my vision, and that film was downloaded. Like I downloaded that film. Isn't sci-fi. It's a prophecy of what I'm building. I'm not joking. This guy wrote a book called Ready Player One, and it's a top sci-fi novel. And when I used to explain my project, half people got to lose, but the people that didn't lose, they always said, "Oh, was you inspired by Ready Player One?" I was like, "No, what's that? I never read it." And I read it years later, and it's like my book. I mean, it was what I was downloading. My visions was in. He saw the same thing, and then and he talks about someone with autism who grew up in the 80s, who loved playing retro 80s games, loved 80s music, got bullied a lot at school, a social recluse, loved Dungeons and Dragons, and had guitar lessons as a kid, loved like retro gaming, and described my life like it was like me. And then one day he become a programmer, and he created a revolutionary VR game platform that basically took the world by storm. And then kind of everything else become obsolete, and it's one central platform, and that's what I'm building. And like, it was mental. Like, universe is divinely orchestrated. Like, sometimes people write sci-fi books, and it's really not sci-fi. It's science preview, because sci-fi is actually pre what's to come. But sometimes they're more generic, the sci-fi stuff. But this book, it was very, very specific, and it was about a guy called James Halliday. And I would say he's like my digital twin, my parallel David Ellams in another parallel universe. I would call James Halliday, and he created this this thing called Oasis, but it was dystopia future when the world has gone to like now. But imagine now in 10 years' time, if light didn't win, when the whole world is just completely like dark and overcrowded, and everyone escapes into VR to get away from the shitty lives. They go and want to live in VR land. That's what the Ready Player One storyline is. But what I'm creating is like the utopia version of it. Rather than using VR and games to escape reality, it's about using it to uplift humanity and heal the planet and learn how to live together and then eventually ascend and train you how to look after ourselves. And so it's like the flip side. So I'm not the parallel, also on a parallel universe version, if that makes sense.
Wow, let me stop you there, because when you say you're building it now, this head is not technological. I mean, yes, I can edit programs and I can study stuff on YouTube, but when it comes to explaining to me how electricity works, or how do you build this? When you say I'm building it, what do you actually do? What are you?
Magic.
As I say, my head doesn't get this.
Yeah, just like, well, my background is a .NET C# developer. That's like a programming language and technology, which is like, it's like a web development, but it's used for everything: websites, apps, games. It's very popular now. It's in like a lot of businesses use it. Like probably Java and .NET are two of the most popular languages. So, and it's a thing called a game engine called Unity, and that's very popular as well. And the clues in the title, Unity. That's why I knew when I saw that was what I'm going to build my game in, because Unity. My game's all about creating unity, and a game engine is called Unity. So I was like, yeah, that's the one I'm going to use. That was divinely planned. So and the program language it uses is the one I'm 20 years experience in. So the back end code for Unity is C#, and that's what I'm an expert in.
Okay,
so that's all planned. That's planned.
Are you using light language? Sorry, are you using light language in there?
Yeah. Thanks. Good question. I never talk about that part. I forget about that bit. It's imbued with angelic light codes as well, and Ascended Masters are working with me with alchemy energy. So when you're playing the game, it actually upgrades your DNA and upgrades your consciousness. It actually, I call it anti-brainwashing technology. All the damage that's been done rewiring our brain and DNA, this game reverses it. It's an antidote. It's the antidote to all the brainwashing. Basically, it rewrites your consciousness and DNA. It's not only educating you on a 3D level. It's working it's multidimensional programming and multidimensional energy that comes through it. It's mental. I'm just a channel. It's not coming from me. I'm just an angel incarnated, and I'm just following orders. I'm just following like you, all of us. I'm just building what they tell me to build. Like, build this. Okay. And then they just do the universe and the angels and the rest do the magic. I'm just like the front man.
We're channels, exactly. It was explained to me.
Mind blowing.
That we are avatars in a game. We're angels or alien avatars, and I come from Aquarius.
In the game. and that's what our world is. Our world is fractal. It's holonic fractal because we're creating a game inside a game. We're inside the polarity integration game, and David Ellams' avatar is creating another digital twin avatar system inside it. And that's how the universe works. Everything's fractal. Everything's contained inside itself. Everything's a copy of each other. So it's like God training platform. It's like a God like recreating reality inside the matrix. It's like creating, and this game I'll go a little bit into it, but basically it's got a thing called infinite reality, IR. So it's got VR, virtual reality, you've got augmented reality, AR, and what comes off of that is a thing called IR, which I invented, infinite reality, and that's about merging virtual and reality so become one. So for example, few examples is say like in the game, you in real life you go out and you buy a Pret salad, say, and a green juice, for lunch, and then you scan that into the game, and your avatar in the game drinks the green juice. It's plus 10 health, plus 100 speed, and a salad. Or if you go to McDonald's and your avatar will eat a burger and you get fat, and then you can't run as long in the game and you get unhealthy. So it's realistic. It's a simulation. It's a simulation.
It's about the mind as well. If your avatar is drinking green juices and having vitamins and minerals and exercising, then you will feel better.
Yeah. it's two-way. It's two-way. So it mirrors each other. Yeah, so whatever happens in the game happens in real life, and what happens in real life happens in the game. It's a two-way mirror. So it's not just a game, it's a real-time simulation platform. It's hard to explain it. Nothing's like it. It doesn't exist. This is like 20, 30 years advanced technology. This is galactic, angelic technology. This is from millions of years in the future I'm downloading this from. So you can imagine how advanced this technology is. It's nothing. Google and Facebook and Apple, they're nothing. They can't even imagine this. They can't even think about this, let alone build it. Trust me.
So
that's why it's going to make an obsolete.
In a nice way, you're Bill Gates of the star seeds, and you're the Bill Gates of the awakening and the ascension.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
I don't want not the other way. Not the other stuff we won't talk about.
He was a good person. So
yeah.
You've got, so you're very, okay, so here's a good question, David. You're a genius. Obviously.
Well, universe. I always say the universe is a genius. I'm just a channel. But.
So how have you managed to? Have you been targeted? Because a lot of people, a lot of brains, like creative brains, are very easy to target. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I had a lot. I've had a lot of me and my friend Chris, because I'm like Superman. So I'm like archetype of Superman, and my friend Chris, he's like Iron Man. And there's a few other superheroes for the Avengers and Justice League that we're building. And we've been very, very interfered with, to say. And hexes, curses, psychic attack. Yeah, there's been all sorts of crazy stuff. Phone calls, sending weird, my computer's been hacked, and I've been, oh God, my computer crashes all the time. Every type of way that can be interfered, I've been interfered with. And my relationships, my parent, mind control, yeah. I won't get too far into it, but that's what makes you stronger and stronger. And that's why I keep feeling I'm behind schedule, because I've been trying to get funding and build this since 2013 or 2011 I started, and I still haven't got funding or team. So this is another shout out again. If anyone wants to help donate, I've got a GoFundMe page, and also I'm about to launch a Kickstarter campaign. I've been told, guided to do that. And looking for C# and Unity developers. If anyone's out there who wants to help build this, it'd be great, because I've struggled to find funding, and in 8 years I still haven't got any help support for this. So that's because I know it's interference. But
the way I see it, David, is everything is about keeping people. The government now, everything they're doing, particularly the lottery and funding like that, they want to keep people calm. They want to have, now a game already will focus the mind. Think about it. You have to think like them, don't you? They're looking for people that can come up with things that are going to help people focus their minds. But this is such a positive game compared to all the violent games and video games, exactly. All that stuff that doesn't, okay, it does focus the mind, but it takes people not in the direction you are. I mean, what you're talking about here is it's a whole education system of mindfulness, nutrition. It's going to help so many people whose heads are not able to stay calm and focused. Now, not only that, but you pulled yourself out of everything, depression, alcoholism. You're being honest here. And I think one of the things the lottery are doing now, which I'll talk to you about another time, is they're providing people to fill in the forms. So you can actually get someone for a whole day now, believe it or not. The lottery will pay them. They give you one, and you together decide what grant to go for, and they help you. They actually do the grant. So, some of the linings of this awakening, of this lockdown, is that people are they have no choice but to give money to people that are going to help human beings to be able to negotiate whatever is happening, whatever might be happening, whatever may happen. So you've got a better chance now of money from these people than you had before.
Yeah, because I've basically I've done everything. I've done investors, I've done crowdfunding, I've done grants, I've done book lottery, I've done comic relief, I've done it all. Denied for yoga for autism and our world. I've been trying to get funding, and it's been, I'm honest, it's days I want to give up, you know, but my heart will never let me. My mind is like, why did I give up my £500 a day job I used to make? I used to make 10 grand a month, and now I live in poverty. Like
No, you
I'm
never
living
give up.
benefits,
Never
but
give
my
up.
heart and soul will never let me quit. So like, I won't tell you the whole thing, but I got targeted. My yoga for autism company, they tried to take it from me. So I took my clients, I took my business, and so I had to shelf that. Like it's still going, but I had to then focus on the technology because the money is in technology. So I started building the game. But unfortunately, yoga for autism I hadn't had time to carry on with. But that's going to be rebooted. That's Wife Baby Reborn that you're asking about before. And just to quickly, the big thing I really wanted to say was I'm about to launch this thing called the Justice League Academy and Your Second Chance. And that's basically a training course for like everyone. Originally it was for autistic people like myself, but it's for everyone now, for kids on the streets, homeless, unemployed, people in prison, all disadvantaged people and everyone. And now basically
So what's that called, David? Your Second Chance?
Yeah, it's going to be Your Second Chance.icu. And that's like ICU. And the Justice League Academy. The Justice League Academy is more for kids and adults who are into comic books and like me who like superheroes. But some people, Your Second Chance might resonate more. So I've got two flavors of the same thing. And that's about like.
Sorry, can I? So that I can stop you there because that can help a lot of people. So
yes, especially now with the lockdown. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So say you've got a dream, like you've got a big dream, they can go into Your Second Chance and they can get what? Mentoring, money? How does it work?
Yeah, eventually, but to start off with, because just starting out, the main thing of it was to teach them how to program and teach them like people interested in how to make apps and games. I can give them all free training, and it's open to everyone. No previous skills experience required. It's free. And then they giving jobs to help build our world, to build this amazing technology. It's a win-win-win then. So I can give them free training and jobs. And most of the training courses, the barrier entry is so high. You need previous skills experience, you need money, and you work. And when you get in, you work on dummy application that no one ever sees. You work all this time and you throw it away. What better way is to build real life? I trust people. I want to help them believe in themselves again. So I want them to work on real life applications and build apps and games that are going to make the world a better place and build our world and build all these apps, mindfulness apps that all plug into it. So it can build stuff that's going to really help. So from day one, you can start earning money and start writing code to start helping people. And as well as the program. So the program's also got mixing with mindfulness, meditation, yoga, healthy nutrition. So it teaches them how a whole holistic, balanced lifestyle. Because just programming is not healthy. You need to balance it with the yoga meditation. And going to prove that people are more productive and more efficient at learning and working when you mix the programming with yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. So that's my whole.
So how far have you got, David? How far have you got now with, you've got a website?
Actually, at the minute for the training, you go on ourworldthegame.com or nextgensoftware.co.uk. The details are on there, and there's a PDF you can download of those websites. And there's one for adults and one for junior, and juniors for kids like in schools and stuff. And especially now, all the schools are closing. It's perfect timing. The universe again planned this. Do you know what? I downloaded all this in 2013. All what I told you, I've had all this in my head since 2013, but I didn't have the time to make it all. But it wasn't for then, it's for now. I realized 7 years was to prepare. 7 years I've been preparing, building, developing, and doing my inner work. And now 2020 is when I unleash it on the world. 2020 is when the world needs it. Because I'm ahead of my time. I'm a man of tomorrow, man of steel. Superman is. I'm from the future. So I was ahead of my time. So I had to wait patiently for 7 years for the world to catch up. And now the world is going to be crying out for what I'm offering. Because the slogan for our world is together we can create a better world. So they want to be part of that. Yoga for autism, people always need that. And the training, Your Second Chance. Yeah. And the final thing is the Global Healing Network. So I can heal. I've got technology. I can heal people for distance healing. Got remote healing. I think you gain karma for healing people. So this whole COVID craziness, you don't need to go get a vaccine or go to hospital. You just go on a website and you can get free healing, and people can heal you. That's another one of my things I had in my head from 2013. But it's all for
Fantastic.
now.
So
And
this
now
is
look at the
your,
world. And like now is the time to bring it into the world. So hopefully someone out there's listening. Help me, help you. Thank you.
yes. Well, the whole
Please.
point is we're all working together, David. And TV is here for everyone. I'm here to bring you all together. I'm the media for the light workers. That's how I see it. I'm the media for light workers and for Starseed, for all of us, in order, because you need a media. You need some,
Yeah.
because there's no one's going to put you on anywhere else because they don't want to know. They don't want to know that you could go out there and tell all these people with autism that you don't need medication. They don't want that. And they don't either, that I can go out there and say you don't need medication for anything. It's all inside. Yeah, as you say, we're miles in front of everyone. We come from the future. And people laughed at us and made fun of us. But we are learning now how to use our talents. And as I say, I'm the media. I'm the media and entertainment, and that's my job. Your job is more technological, and we come together and we work together. There's loads of people out there. This is why I'm asking you. Starseeds, people like us, have struggled so much. No one wanted us, and no one gave us opportunities. There's people creating bionic beds in order to counteract 5G. There's people that are creating their own electricity system. When I call them people, you know, people is just 3D thing that we are. So basically, everything that you're bringing here onto Moving On TV is going to benefit a lot of people. So we all work together. So how do people do that? Say, okay, you've got someone similar to yourself who's got a dream, but they, like you, they don't have the money. Like me, they don't. So we're figuring out now how to get what we need or how to get sponsorship. So there is another thing which you can now go on. I don't know if you're on Universal Credit or anything, but they are providing they're providing me with a whole year of mentorship in order to move on with my company, my production company that runs all of this. So as you said, what you need, what we need, all of us, is some kind of database. Do you have a database where it specifies where you can go, where people like yourself can go that are more technological, or you got, I'm kind of drawing on the creative. I'm looking at the creative from my experience. If you're a creative, but you're on the technological side, and there is a huge specter of starseeds like that are out there that can't do what you're doing. They have the same talents and the same creativity, but it's always what's been holding them back is the money again. So what I'm asking here is, how can you all do it together? Is why Yoga for Autism and the website able to connect you all together in some way?
The best way is I have to give you some links after this. Basically, this thing called the Our World Tribe. I got a Telegram group, and also a thing on thing called Discord, like a Discord game server. I've got two groups like on those platforms. Right. I got Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn as well, but I don't. They're dying. They're part of the problem. So I don't talk about it. So Telegram and Discord are the best ways to reach out. It's a thing called Our World the Game. So if you go on ourworldthegame.com website, and then you go to the bottom, there's some links, and you see that there's a Telegram link at the bottom, and then if you go on there.
What's the website?
On the bottom of the website, ourworldthegame.com, you scroll down to the bottom.
Sorry, can
you? Just Our World, the game.com. Yeah.
The game. That's yours.
Yeah, .com. That's probably the best way.
Argotthegame.com. Okay. Anything, so people can go on there and connect to you, is that right?
Yeah, but then if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a thing called Telegram, a Telegram link, and if you click on that, then you can join the Telegram group, and then you can talk to me. Also, you can email me as well. I give you my email address, so david@nextgensoftware.co.uk. That's another way.
Okay, you'll give that to me, and I'll put
Yeah.
the
A link. Yeah, put in a link. I think I'll give you the links after. Yeah, I'll give you the links after. So I think I'll give you a link for Telegram, and my email is probably the best way. There's two ways.
Okay. Okay.
And then and that's where Wi-Fi Reborn is, because I'm going to reboot Wi-Fi with this training course, because originally it was created for autistic people such as myself. So I'm going to create this training course is how I'm going to reboot it, because that's the thing. I've got thousands of people like on a database of autistic people I've built up over the 7 years doing. I went to autistic shows and teaching and doing public talking in shows and in schools and in colleges, care homes, and advertising in autistic magazines and yoga magazines, and yoga show I went to. There's videos on the website of me doing my public talkings. People can check out my videos. I talk about a bit like I talked about today, but more detail about the autistic side of things. A presentation I give, and that's why I've got loads and loads of email addresses and people signed up. I've got yoga teachers and I've got clients. And one big thing, that's where it came from, because one big thing was helping with yoga was just stage one. Stage two was that everyone had a negative vibe all the time, talking about the negative side of autism. And all I heard was, oh, he had to be medicated, we're going to get a job. Oh, negative. And I was like, no. And I was like, positive. I was like, no, you can get off the drugs, you do yoga, come with me, I'll teach you how to program, I'll give you a job. That's how it started off with. And I thought, wow, this is big, because I saw the light in their eyes of the parents going, oh, my kid isn't going to be like unemployed his whole life. And I was like, no, yes. I want to mentor them. And then I thought, let's make it bigger. And then expand into the unemployed, the homeless, kids in the streets, drug addictions, prisons.
Can I stop? Sorry, David, this is incredible. So you don't,
yes, that's right.
You know, again, autism, ADD, ADHD, they're just labels, aren't they? The labels for sensitive people that have been given a diagnosis, that have been affected either by pollution, vaccination, or whatever, or their job was to come here with a different type of mindset because they're starseeds and aliens, as we said. So does that mean that if someone comes to and wants to work with you or get some support and understand, and you know, from you what you're doing, or as I say, work with you, do they have to have a label, or could they be struggling with addictions or
anything? I just make it open. Like my focus is to help all disadvantaged people, but I want to help everyone. And this is why the universe has done this now. Why it's like my time to shine finally. Because I've been really gone for, like you said, you know, gone for a really dark struggle 40 years basically on this planet. It's been I've had very small breathers basically of where things have been like not ridiculously challenging. It's just been like climbing not a mountain, climbing a vertical wall of spikes and being, I don't know, shot at the same time. But basically now, like, it's time to bring it into the world, because this is like my Superman journey, basically my Superman hero journey, and this is where I now finally can. Now is the perfect timing. There's the lockdowns and people at home, unemployed going up, kids going to be homeschooled. This is exactly the perfect time when people are going to want to join these training courses and not only just like get money and help build something. It's also help build a better world, like, and help build our world together, because it's massive. This project is more most ambitious project the world's ever seen. When you watch the film Ready Player One, you'll see it's way bigger than people. Oh, is it new Facebook? No, it's bigger than everything you've seen. It's bigger than all the current big tech combined. And imagine all that combined in something that's for the light of the world. That's how powerful it is. It's the antidote to big tech. It's like the nemesis. And that's why, like you said, I've been hindered a lot, let's say, and challenged a lot. And also why I've been delayed, because it wasn't safe yet. It wasn't time. If I didn't burn out in 2013, it would have been too early, and I would have been, I don't know, probably be in danger. Yeah, I think I need to drink.
Okay, so David, you're right. We're gonna You're getting your water. We're going to end the first part there. Okay. Is there anything you want to say before we close the first part? And then the next interview, part 2, will be more about the training. And even if people want to contact you and ask you questions, we'll put your email, and maybe they can ask you things they may want to ask about their own development or how to get more training. So we'll talk about the training more on the next interview, and we'll talk about also going out and getting support, how to do that, and what it is you need, etc., etc. So is there anything else you want to say before we close this first part of the interview?
That sounds great. And I just want to say, everyone out there listening, don't worry. Well, a better world is coming, and everything is proceeding as planned. It might seem crazy on the outside, but really, I think if you believe in God or don't believe in God, but there is a divine hand at hand behind the scenes. You might not see it, and the light is winning. Was really won in higher dimensions, and these projects are now coming through. I'm just one part of a massive network, like Lauren and all of us of light workers, and I got a massive amount of people building this new technology with me, and now we're bringing the training course in. And just want to end just by saying the whole point I created this thing is that I believe in all of you. I believe in you, and I believe in you will deserve a second chance, and I want to help you all find your gift for the world. Everyone's got a gift, and I just wanted to empower you to be the best person you can be, and together we can create a better world. So like, don't give up hope, and we're going to do it. We're winning, and I just got to stick together. That's it.
We've all got a similar dream. We're all here for humanity. That's what gets us up in the morning. We believe in you, every single one of you. And if you can see what David has got past in order to do what he's doing, there is no excuse for anybody to not be able to get out there, grab their life, grab their dreams, and live their dreams, regardless of the 3D issues that we've all been given. I know people are struggling with all sorts of, but guess what? The government know that they created this, and they have to give you support. So we're going to find out in the next program what support is there for people like David and people like myself and anybody else who's watching this, because the whole point of doing this is in order to show you that you too can go out and create your dream. So I'm going to end that there. Please subscribe, share, and like, and join Moving On TV. And at some point, I think I'll get David on, because he's so brilliant at speaking. We'll get you onto a live stream where you can bring your friends on, and we can bring people on. You can talk to them, ask questions on the chat, and hopefully we're going to, grow beautiful new world together. So take care, everyone. Love you lots. And I will put David's email down below. But contact me, movingontv1@gmail.com, if you want to come on here as well. Express your dream, and we all do it together. Love you lots, guys.
Love you all.